Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Welcome to the Going to Killing City podcast, a historical look at murder in Kansas City. Here are your hosts, Jamie Green and Alex Greenwood.
Everybody, welcome back. Episode 7, Going to Killing City. And before we delve in too much, everybody, you need to know this is October is Alex's happy month. It's his happy time. Alex is Halloween 24/7. So a very happy Halloween to my evil twin and cohort on the podcast.
Thank you, my brother. And hey, by the way, you saw my first Ghoulwood Manor video of my friend in the front yard. You said spooky scary.
Spooky scary. Did you ever watch 30 Rock?
Yeah, man. Werewolf Bar Mitzvah, man.
Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. That's totally where I got that.
Fools become, what do they say? Become men, or I don't remember. It was hilarious.
Boys become men. Men become wolves.
Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. Spooky scary. Boys becoming men. Men becoming wolves.
Oh, God, that cracked me up. Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. Yeah, this is my Christmas. I love Halloween since I was a little kid. When you cross just a weird childhood with Ray Bradbury in Oklahoma, you get me, and I love it. So yeah, I'm that house, and we have a 12-foot kind of a skeleton cross with a mummy and a big spider webs and a spider, and then every week all the way up until Halloween night we add more crap to it, and it's just a good time. Where the neighbors literally asked me 6 weeks ago, I was out mowing the lawn, they stopped and said, so what new thing are you going to add this year? And I'm sitting there thinking, I was kind of thinking I'm not doing so much this year, but I guess if they're asking. So I said, oh, just wait, you and see. And so there you go.
So speaking of this, I know October is a fun month for your other podcast. So let's talk a little bit about what you got going on, man.
Yeah. You know, Mysterious Goings On, which is a show about creativity, mostly books and writers and stuff like that. But I've got a buddy of mine who's a film critic, legit. He writes for about 6 different publications, and internationally, he's a really good up and coming film critic. And his name's Lucas Hardwick. And we just met. Gosh, I don't even remember how we met online. We've never met in person, but we're good buds. And I've had him on the show for other things. I said, well, dude, we both love horror. Why don't we do, like, every week in the month of October, we'll dig up, as we say, a fun Halloween movie to talk about, but we won't going to pick all the usual suspects. So it's called Silver Screams. It's on the Mysterious Goings On feed. The first week, which you can, of course, still get right now, we had talked about the classic from 1979, Phantasm. Yeah. And there's some music in that too, Bill Thornbury. And then by the time you hear this, the second episode will be the 1934 classic, The Black Cat, with Bela Lugosi and Karloff. And we've got a couple more after that, and maybe a few surprises. So if you're interested, go to mgopod.com. And thank you, my brother, for mentioning that.
Absolutely. I'm going to pimp myself a little bit.
I was going to pimp you, but all right.
No, I'm going to pimp another thing. Then you can pimp me.
Oh, okay.
This is coming out on October 15th. If you are, like my brother, a resident of the Northland, I am going to be playing with my acoustic duo at Sail a Whale Wine. Say that 3 times fast. 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Tuesday, October 17th. Sail Away Wine. Come out and say hi. You can see what I do. I actually can play on a guitar. So there you go.
And he sings too, folks. And you've been singing more than you used to.
Yeah.
I don't know why you didn't sing before. Admittedly, Matt's great, but I mean, you sing just really nicely.
You're very nice. Matt's got that cool rock and roll voice. I have the folk voice. I don't, I want the rock and roll voice. I have a folky voice. I don't know why, but I do. So
he's Lennon and you're McCartney. Is that what we're saying?
Pretty much.
No,
but it's a good time. We haven't played in a while. So it could be interesting.
Well, I'm a fan. And since you're going to be up here, I don't know where this. Oh, I know where this place is. Yeah, I know exactly where this place is. I'll check our schedule and see if the missus and I can come see you, because we haven't heard you in a while. But hey, listeners, speaking of other shows, my evil twin was riding solo talking about this very show on the KC Morning Show with Hartzell Gray. You did a really nice job on the show. And it's so good. I mean, I couldn't be there. I wish I could have been, but I was booked, and these things get moved around a lot. And but you just carried the ball in a really nice way. Have you had any response? Anybody said they heard?
Well, we had a bunch more people downloading the pod the next day. So
nice.
That worked. So no, but to that end, last time, we're not too proud to beg. We we'll beg. So we asked people to give us reviews. We got 3 very nice 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. So to those folks, thank you so much for doing that. Mm-hmm. Spread the word. It's a labor of love, but the more listeners, the better. So there you go.
Yeah. And, and we know every podcast you listen to asks you for reviews. And there's some people out there saying that doesn't matter that much. But I'm a PR guy. Take it from me. It's called social proof. Even if it doesn't necessarily move the algorithm the way some people think it does, it's social proof when people are just hunting around. They're looking at a podcast and going, is that worth my time? I always look at the reviews. And if they don't have any, or they have 1 or 2, and it's obviously one of them was grandma or Papa and Nana doing it. I mean, I'm kind of like, maybe not. But if I start seeing several diverse different reviews, I'm like, I'm going to check it out. So we really do appreciate that.
So for the people who have our new listeners that we have now, thanks to Hartzell, and once again, thanks to Hartzell.
Thank you, Hartzell.
The whole idea of this podcast is that we discuss 30 years or older murders. They have to be in the greater Kansas City metro area. We do not discuss children murders at all. We won't touch that. We are both fathers. And they can't just be normal murders. They have to be something weird and strange. The last one was another great example. Alex killed that one, pun intended. In fact,
that one was strange.
My sister is staying at the Hotel President next weekend, and I was like, "Oh, please ask for room 1046. I really want you to do it, but I don't think she'll do it. I don't think she's gonna do it." But, and then we pair. So the hint every month. So I'm hosting this month. So my hint to Alex was East Side Tavern 1970. Mm-hmm. And so, Alex, it's time for the reveal. What's the cocktail that everybody should be drinking with us?
Right. So, and you did a nice job, a nice pick last month with that, and it was good. And well, so you said 1970 East Side Tavern, and to me, that just evokes like an era of gritty bars, maybe some classic rock, hint of blues, and a casual vibe. Kind of more casual than bars are now, believe it or not, where patrons they're like way more interested in good conversation than the fanciness of their drink. Yep. Douchey guys like me who's like, you better make my martini just so, or I'll send it back. They don't care, right? They just wanted a drink, man, and they're just want to get on with their life. So considering that, here's what I think we should have, and I think it's a classic. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even like these that much, but I think it goes with this. I hope it does, at least. It's called a whiskey sour, which is just a mix of sweet and sour flavors. It's grounded by the warmth of whiskey, and it's a simple, timeless, and it definitely was a popular choice in many American taverns in the 70s. And the recipe will be in the show notes. But basically, you just need good bourbon, fresh lemon juice, simple syrup, ice, and maybe a cherry or a slice of orange to go with it.
I made one. It's yummy. I'm drinking it in my other podcast drink, the Trading Force.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know if you need one of those for one of your podcasts.
I do. I've got gear, but nothing that cool. So you got to tell me where you got that. I got
my buddy Luke out in California. He sent it to me. What a nice guy. So,
well, you got a lot of good friends. That's a sign that you're a good person, even though you're evil.
Yeah. All right. I have nothing to say to that.
You're the evil twin. We always say that.
That's right. I think it's right. So, happy Halloween to everybody. This one is not Halloween themed exactly, but it is strange and creepy and weird, and it is definitely Kansas City. So, if you're ready to roll,
I'm ready.
Okay,
let's go. Let's go to East Side Tavern, 1970. Let's see what happens.
So, in the winter of 1985, a man named James Philip Doc Dearborn was gunned down in the parking lot of a motel near the downtown airport during a drug deal that had gone wrong. That would be the Charlie Wheeler Airport for people that know about that in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
That murder, which barely got any media coverage at the time, would have reverberations for a decades-old unsolved murder case and would later lead to a major, and I do mean major, embarrassment for the Kansas City Police Department. But I'm getting ahead of myself with the story, so we need to go back further to start this whole crazy story. So if you find yourself at the corner of 31st Street and Benton Boulevard in East Kansas City, you come upon a 7-foot bronze statue. It's located in Leon Jordan Memorial Park and was dedicated to that guy, Leon Jordan, back in the mid-70s. It opened up in 1975. Clearly, many people felt strongly about Leon Jordan and his legacy. But for many Kansas Cityans, they are unaware of Jordan's amazing life and his very sad and violent death. So I'm hoping that we can remedy that today. Leon Mercer Jordan was born in Kansas City, Missouri on May 6, 1905. He was considered what it was quoted as one of the most influential African Americans in Kansas City history. He really did lead a remarkable life. He attended Lincoln High School, which is still there. Some of my friends and their kids go there to high school to this day. And he then served in the U.S. Army, graduated from Wilberforce University. And that's where he met his bride, a woman named Orchid Ramsey, and they were married in 1932. So Jordan comes back from college. He first works as a school teacher. And then in 1938, he joins the Kansas City Police Department. So now we're not going to be Ron DeSantis. I think my evil twin will agree. We're not going to say by not talking about race and racism, it never happened.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Right. Yeah,
we're
that's
adults.
bullshit.
So we're going to talk about this.
Exactly.
So
Well done.
this is amazing to think about. I mean, how remarkable Jordan's rise was in the Kansas City Police Department. Yes, Missouri did fight for the Union in the Civil War, but it was a slave state. And Kansas City has a long and ennoblable history of racism that still reverberates to this day. It's a very segregated city for our listeners who are not from here. So it's notable that not only did Jordan join the police department, but he actually was promoted to detective. That was something that was unheard of for African Americans in the 1930s. So Jordan is a detective for several years. He leaves KCPD in 1947, and he spends 8 years in Liberia in Africa, training their police forces. He's also a licensed pilot. He flies all around Liberia. And in 1948, he helped coordinate the rescue of the French High Commission of West Africa and 16 other French officials after their plane made a forced landing. So this is like an Indiana Jones kind of story.
Yeah.
That effort where he helped to rescue those folks, actually, he got the Chevalier of the Order of the African Star by Liberian President William Tubman for those efforts. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Jordan returns back to Kansas City in February of 1952. And at the time, he was promoted even to police lieutenant, the first African-American to hold that rank in KCPD history. But he was frustrated. He wasn't given any real power, and he went back to Liberia for another 3 years to work. Finally, though, he comes back to Kansas City for good in the mid-1950s, and he purchased the Green Duck Tavern in East Kansas City. In the late 1950s, he becomes very involved in Democratic politics. And by 1962, he, with Bruce R. Watkins, which Bruce R. Watkins Drive is in East Kansas City. It's a way to go all the way downtown.
Right.
They formed Freedom Inc., which is a political group that is still active in Kansas City right now. They targeted massive voter registration of African Americans and promoted African American candidates. In 1963, they score a major victory by getting an accommodations ordinance adopted in Kansas City, desegregating all public facilities in Kansas City. This is ahead of the civil rights movement federally. They got it done here locally. That's a really remarkable thing that they got done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. He later is elected to the Missouri House of Representatives, and he was campaigning for his fourth term when he was murdered. All right. Here's about the murder. Around 1 a.m. on July 15th, 1970, Jordan was murdered with 3 shotgun blasts outside of his Green Duck Tavern located at 2548 Prospect Avenue. Eyewitnesses stated that the killers were 3 African-American men. The murderers dumped the shotgun in a vacant lot in Kansas City, and it was soon recovered by police. Kansas City police then traced that same shotgun to a burglary 5 years earlier. That gun, a Remington 11-gauge Wingmaster shotgun, was one of many guns that were stolen out of the Coast to Coast hardware store. And I won't say what town it is, but it rhymes with Independence, Missouri. So
that's kind of an outsized inside joke by now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a faithful listener and friend who lives in Independence, and it's become a running joke. But this is the only mention of Independence, Terry. So this is it. Murder didn't happen in Independence. Murderers aren't from Independence. It's all good. So
it's all good, Terry.
All right. This is where it gets weird and with lots of twists and turns. The Independence Police Department stated that the guns had later been sold through a, quote, North End Italian fence. All this information was either not known by KCPD or forgotten until 2010, when the Kansas City Star did an expose on the 40th anniversary of Leon's murder. So this is a really good time to remind our listeners the importance of a robust independent media.
Yes.
I highly suggest you read the article itself, which you can find online. But for the purposes of this podcast, I'm going to summarize this for you, okay? It's a great example of the power of investigative journalism. All right, so the article was written by Mike McGraw in July of 2010. It states that the Kansas City Police Department was reopening the 40-year-old murder case of Jordan after they, quote, rediscovered physical evidence in the case that they thought had been missing since 1973. That evidence was the murder weapon, the Remington shotgun that had not only been lost, but wait for it, was discovered by KCPD in one of their patrol cars.
In the patrol car?
Mm-hmm. It gets weirder. In 1976, the gun was sold by KCPD to a, quote, unknown person, unquote, outside of the police department. But the very next year, in 1977, that same gun is purchased back by KCPD from a local dealer to be used in a patrol car. In 1997, the same gun is used by an officer in the shooting of a suspect and sent to the crime lab for analysis. The very next year, in 1998, the gun is returned to service and put into the Special Operations Division. In 2010, the gun is recovered in the trunk of a police car and then, and only then, returned to the evidence room. All right, it gets even better. KCPD apparently didn't even know the gun was missing until the Star requested an inventory of all the physical evidence as they prepared to write the story about the 40th anniversary of Leon Jordan's death. Now, KCPD claims that around 1976, they had closed the Jordan case, and apparently the gun was most likely sold at a police auction to an unknown person, and then it was brought back. That's what I just told you, and it's in the protocol card. Now, this is what made me laugh out loud, cynically laugh. Then police spokesman Joe Lockhart said, quote, "We should not have let a murder weapon walk out of our property room for any circumstances, but they did." Okay. As you might imagine, there was a huge, and I do mean huge, amount of outcry about the Star expose. In response to that, in 2011, the very next year, the Kansas City Police Department worked on and then released a 900-page investigative report with the following conclusions. The first one is the gunman was James Doc Dearborn, who I started this episode about in the open. He had known to be the former leader of the, and once again, people, I don't come up with these names. This is just what they were called, the Black Mafia. Dearborn had been indicted at the time of the murder, but for whatever reason, and I looked and tried to see in all this documentation what the reason why he was never tried, but he never was tried. Okay, and as I mentioned, Dearborn himself was murdered in 1985. Jackson County, Jean Peters Baker, who's the Jackson County prosecutor, stated at the time she could not prosecute the case because most of the people involved were dead by the time 2011, ran around, because now it was 41 years later.
Right.
So why was Leon Jordan murdered? And what is exactly is the Black Mafia? According to the Star, quote, Jordan's bare-knuckle politics, association with known crooks, and apparent disregard over angering local mobsters may have been among the motives for the mob's involvement in his murder. Okay. So all this kind of started back in 1965 when Leon Jordan apparently punched fellow state legislator Frank Mazuka in the face when they were having an argument. Now, Mazuka was not considered a mobster himself, but he was known to support organized crime interests in Jefferson City. At the time of the punching, word around Jefferson City was that Jordan would, quote, pay for what he did.
Oh, geez.
Mazuka died of a heart attack in January 1969, a year before the actual murder. So he wasn't involved, but that's what was told. On top of this, the Star reported that they may have been bad blood over a woman, but they didn't give much detail. I hate stuff like this.
Yeah.
Where they talk about it a little bit, but they don't have any proof. But they basically just besmirch the guy who.
It's speculation that actually is just playing mud all over his dead body.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about this Black Mafia. Okay. They were also known. This is the coolest name of the Purple Capsule Gang, because they sold heroin in purple capsules.
Oh okay.
I know, right?
I'm sorry. I don't even know why that's funny, but okay.
Because it's so strange. Okay, so apparently the Black Mafia stepped into the heroin market after the Italian Mafia ordered their members to stop trafficking heroin. Okay, the FBI records state the Black Mafia was making more than $100,000 a day back in the late 60s, early 70s, selling heroin in Kansas City. That's a shit ton of money, man.
Yeah, it is.
So the power of the Black Mafia was broken up in the early 1970s when local law enforcement, along with the FBI, conducted multiple raids and arrested its members. Now, Alex, are you a fan of the TV show Fargo? Have you watched any of those seasons at all?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Did you watch the one that was set in Kansas City, supposedly, even though they filmed it in Chicago?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to say it's not my favorite of all of them, but I watched it.
So Chris Rock's character, apparently his character was loosely based on Doc Dearborn, the person.
Really?
Yeah. So that's kind of a nice little. It maybe might win you a trivia game sometime. You're playing trivia.
Thank you.
All right. So back to the murder case. According to confidential sources, Doc Dearborn had connections with the Sevilla family. And if you are from Kansas City, you know all about the Sevilla family. And I'm guessing we'll talk about them again in future episodes. So they're very powerful. And the, what should we say? Less than legitimate business forces in Kansas City. Can we say that? I just did.
I think so. The
conduit for that relationship between Doc Dearborn and the Kansas City mob was a guy named Joe Centimano. He owned a liquor store at 19th and Vine. Now, according to that Kansas City Police Department, that 900-page opus they wrote in 2011, Centimano was involved because he was a conduit for the Italian mob. There was speculation that the murder weapon was given to Dearborn by Centimano. An imprisoned Black Mafia member named Walton Fraunenbarger was interviewed by the KCPD back in the early 1970s and stated the killing was, quote, contracted by the North End and carried out by the Blacks, unquote. The payoff man was Centimano, who was known as Crazy Joe. What a great Crazy Joe on the street. Now,
did he go by Joe or Crazy informally, or Hey Crazy, or
Hey Craig, Crazy Joe,
Craig? Yeah.
I don't know, but he died of cancer back in 1972, and he wasn't even though the murder happened in 1970, he lived another 2 years. KCPD never even got around to interviewing him.
Wow.
Okay. Interestingly, Dearborn was released from jail literally the day before the murder of Leon Jordan. He was released on bond.
Oh.
Another source identifying Doc Dearborn was the single white member of the leadership of the Black Mafia, which this fascinates me. I don't know how this one white guy got in there, but his name was Eddie David Cox. Cox, too, was interviewed in prison, where he stated Jordan had angered the mob by refusing to back legislation to loosen regulations on taverns and adult entertainment, which, of course, we know what that means. And according to Cox, that was considered to be complete disrespect to the mob members. All right.
Oh, okay.
So here is the wrap up, and then we can delve in with a little back and forth. As an epilogue, just 5 months after that KCPD report was released, Jackson County prosecutor, who we just talked about earlier, Gene Peters Baker, ordered that the Green Duck Tavern be closed, stating that it was a public nuisance.
Oh, really?
There were repeated incidents of violent crime and illegal drug activity in and near the business. Peter Spaker stated at the time she would work with the then current owner, a guy named James Jimmy Townsend, to fix the issue and get the tavern reopened. The tavern did reopen the next year in 2012 and remained open until December 2015, when James Townsend was. What would have happened to James Townsend in 2015? Nothing?
I got nothing. What do you? I'm missing something here. I apologize.
Jimmy Townsend was murdered.
Okay, no, come on. It's too easy on this show.
No.
For once, I want you to say he won the lottery and lived happily ever after.
No, I wish that was the case.
Oh, all right.
83 years old at the time. He was found shot to death behind his home, which was very close to the Green Duck Tavern. He then city councilman and our now current mayor of Kansas City, Quentin Lucas, was quoted as saying, quote, his death, meaning Jimmy Townsend, is a sign of things gone wrong in this year in Kansas City, unquote. And the Green Duck Tavern, it still sits empty to this day. It's falling apart.
Wait a minute.
I drove by and looked at it. So,
well, I know exactly where it is, and I guess I didn't know what it was, but yeah, it's a derelict, right? There's nothing in it, right?
No.
Oh, wow.
So that is the one of the most, I would say, noteworthy Kansas Cityans that made real change, not only here in Kansas City, but in Liberia. Freedom Inc. Every time somebody runs for city council or mayor in this town, they are a force that is either, they court their endorsement or have to fight that they endorse somebody else. Quite a legacy. It's, to me, tragically sad that he was violently murdered. And I don't know, KCPD, what I was thinking, I was like, this kind of reminds me of Reagan with Iran-Contra. Either you're inept, completely inept, or you are crooked. So it's not a good look either way. I don't know how the weapon leaves KCPD, and I sure as hell don't know how it gets back to KCPD. And the fact that they didn't even know it was there until the Star did a records request is pretty jaw-dropping. So there you go.
That is a theme we're running up against here, and lest anyone in the law enforcement community listening, I drive a Toyota, and it's pink, but the famous KC Royals guy who might be looking for me, but it's a common theme we keep running into here, exactly as you parsed it, my friend. Is just that you're either just really bad at your job, or you're really, really bent, and you don't really, you kind of make the supposition that it's bad either way. But it strikes me that these type of folk probably don't care. They probably don't care how they're perceived, as long as they get through. I don't know.
No, I think that's totally fair. And I think one of the reasons why I started this podcast was just that we have a huge murder problem in the city, and that's part of it. But we have a huge clearance problem in the city. Last time I looked, the majority of murders in this city are not solved.
Right.
That's not good at all.
Well, yeah, and again, that's a scab you start picking at. Sorry, folks, it is Halloween month. I can be a little bit gross, but yeah, there's a lot more of that than you would expect, I guess. I got to say, as somebody who was not born here, there were a couple of things that really shocked me when I first got to know how things go around here. That realization has come a little later, about the relationship between the police and things like this. How about I leave it there? That's one of those things.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Of course, the police are not, you should say it. You really should say it, Jamie. I mean, the police in Kansas City, the KCPD in particular, are not, we can't, as a citizenry, we really don't have a lot of say over them compared to other cities.
No, I think that's something we should talk about. So back when we talked about our buddy, brother John Lazia, and we talked about that he had 70 people on the police force. That's why Kansas City lost local control originally. It was so corrupt at the time and so bad that the state legislature stepped in and took it over. Now, Kansas City, depending on who you talk to, we're either the next to last city without local control or the only city. St. Louis, I don't know if anybody knows who Rex Sinquefield is. Rex Sinquefield is a billionaire who his two like pet things that he likes to spend money on are politics and chess, of all things. He was actually featured about he gives money for kids in the inner city to play chess. But Rex is a St. Louis guy from St. Louis, and he actually put an initiative petition on the state ballot in Missouri to get St. Louis out of getting them local control back. They were also had state control. St. Louis got out of it. Kansas City is still stuck with it. And a lot of these political fights, I know this is where my day job is kind of coming out. I apologize. I hope nobody's fallen asleep. But yes, these fights are huge right now. There's a big, the city is suing over the state wants to fund the police department even more. But they don't. They get one vote. Quentin Lucas, the current mayor, whoever the mayor is, whether it's Quentin Lucas or Sly James or Kay Barnes or whoever, they have one vote on a police board. The rest of those people on the police board that make all those decisions are state appointees by our now governor. Well, he's your governor. He's not my governor. Governor Hee Haw is who decides who gets to make things. And I'm happy to say Governor Hee Haw. I don't care. So
I've been known. I've been known to say the same thing. And it's stunning. That's one of the things is the way that operates here. And there, despite recent efforts to try to change that, it's still, as you alluded to, it remains the same. This is sad about this gentleman, though, about Leon Jordan. I mean, he was assassinated for all intents and purposes. He was like an elected official. He was murdered. He was assassinated. Yep. You could say somebody a civilian, so to speak, was murdered, was assassinated, but really assassinated is a term that's generally reserved for leaders and elected officials and that kind of thing. At least it seems to be. And this gentleman was assassinated in this very city. That's just that's outrageous. And the fact that they didn't have any idea what happened and who did it, or at least officially, it's crazy.
Well, I think the biggest thing to me is they clearly. That's why they said they closed the case in 1973. They had given up on it. They had no intention of trying to solve. I mean, 3 years is not that long for a murder case, especially of something of this high profile. And the fact that the Star, this is why, I know we both have our journalism backgrounds, but this is why we need an independent media. Because of things like this. And I don't think the Star has the bandwidth or the expertise to do these kind of stories currently, sadly, because they've had so much cutbacks.
Oh, the turnover, man. They got younger people they can afford apparently to pay, but don't have the experience. So, and then nothing against them. They're not seasoned. By the way, just a sidebar, and you can cut this out, but big hat tip to Channel 41's Jessica McMaster on the Marion, Kansas situation with the newspaper there. She has been outstanding on uncovering all that. Did you see the video of that? And it's yes. The bit where they got to the publisher's house and they basically illegally, and there's video of him saying, "Oh, you guys are going to be on the national news tonight." I mean, he was so cool under quote fire unquote when the sheriff's department showed up to take all of their computers and their personal electronics away, and of course the next day his 98-year-old mother, who was outraged by this, died. Probably due to the stress. But we need more reporters like Jessica and like you're talking about, because that's the very reason right there. But again, not here to preach at you, but it's easy to get pissed off at the media. I understand. I was a reporter for a number of years. I was a small town newspaper editor. I was in broadcasting. I just like my evil twin here, I studied journalism, but it's easy to get pissed off and I get pissed off. I'm an armchair media critic, and I get pissed a lot. And if I point out things about them like this, not because I hate the media, it's because I know they can do better. And we've got to support our journalism in this country, because like it or not, journalism is actually the only industry that is protected under the Constitution.
Yep. Well, this is a perfect example. This case never gets solved. The powers that be don't give a damn. We go from a case that's been closed by that point would have been 37 years. They closed it out in 73, 2010. There was nobody. This was on nobody's radar. And to go from that to the very next year, a 900-page report, Alex, as you know, that took a lot of time and effort. To go from that and solving this case,
right,
literally the next year, it's because somebody gave a damn.
Right.
That's all it was. Somebody
Right.
cared, and
Right.
that's what changed it. But I looked up his widow, Leon Jordan's widow. She'd already passed away at this point, so she didn't even get the satisfaction of knowing that they finally figure out. And obviously, it's kind of an empty victory, a Pyrrhic victory too, because the guy that did it, he was long dead. Unless you're totally into revenge, the fact that he also was shot to death, I don't find that doesn't really help me. I don't feel that's justice at all.
No.
So, and the last thing I'll say about this one, because I think it's important. We both love this town a lot.
Yes.
I love it here. It's a great city like things, but and this is the first case that we did with an African-American victim. We need to do a much better job of caring about all people and all murders, and that all people are just as worthwhile as anybody else. So that's it. That's my soapbox moment. But
Well, I 100% agree with you. And, we only go around once as far as I'm concerned, at least here on this planet. And is it really out of line for us to expect justice while we're here? I don't think so.
no, especially somebody who's this high profile.
Yeah. Who whether you agreed with his policies or not, he was working to better his community. So anyway, I'll climb down off my soapbox, but I get pretty outraged about this stuff. It's just so pointless.
Yep. So I wanted to talk about Leon just because I think it's an important thing. Everybody in Kansas City should know who he, was and what he did, and also what happened to him. The park is there. If you want to go see it, you can definitely do that. You can go drive by the tavern. Like I said, it's really in bad shape, but it is still there. But I know this is not one of our happier, sillier ones, but
No.
it's an important one, and I wanted to talk about it. So with that, I will turn it back to you, and you can give me the hint for next month.
And if this one turns out to be a turkey, it's perfect for November then, right? Okay, let's just or a tofurkey in your case, my friend. Whatever it is I don't even know what you eat it. I'll have to ask you that sometime. I don't know. All right. Here is your clue. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Wait, do I need to give you like a year, or does it matter? Do you have to have
Just
the year?
you give me what you think is a cool hint.
I don't know why I'm all of a sudden backpedaling today and not knowing. I sit here and
You're
act
really
like I know.
selling this episode.
I know. No. I just mean like I've forgotten how to do everything. I had the vaccine the other day and I have not felt right since.
Oh my God.
But
Are
I'm
the
not
overlords controlling you with the chip.
Well,
is that what's happening?
It could be. I don't know. Anyway, all right. No.
Give me the hint,
no,
then I want to talk about one other fun thing. But go ahead.
I'm just call me Mr. Pfizer. All right, here we go. All right, here's your clue.
All right.
Easy. Here's a go. The clue is eastbound and down.
Oh my God. I love it. That show makes me laugh a lot.
I'm thinking of Jerry Reed, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
Eastbound and Down. I love it. This has been a lot of fun. Happy Halloween to you, my brother, and to everyone. Are you doing anything? Are you just going to hand out the candy? Is that what you're doing?
I'm going to a lot of stuff. There is, by the way, by the time this comes out, it'll be too late. But on my show, one of our sponsors was KC Renfest, and I got a lot of tickets. And they're doing this last weekend. The show drops, by the way, if you get this on the 15th, the last day, I believe is the 15th. They're doing a Halloween themed Renfest that really shut it all down. I'm going to go to that. We're going to go to Worlds of Fun with the kid and her friends and our friends, and then that are her parents and their parents, all that, the friend group. And I just tag along, but I always act like it's a bother, but it's not. I love it. So we're going to do that, and maybe go. There's a great couple of musical events around town too. I hear there's something about some kind of Stillwater Run Deep band that's going to be up here in the Northland. I mean, there's all this stuff that I'm going to go see. So then on Halloween night, what we do is normally I take the whole backyard and turn it into a haunted thing, a big graveyard, and the kids love it. And I'll tell you how I know they love it, my brother, because it was overheard two Halloweens ago. Kid ran through it, loved it, and yelled, "Dad, this house is sick."
There you go.
Because sick is good, right?
That made your year.
Oh man, I've been dining out on that for 2 years now. So this year we'll do the same, but actually this year I'm going to tone it down a little bit. No backyard. We're going to do front yard stuff. The wife and I and any neighbors, we'll pull up lawn chairs, have a little solo stove going, eat some chili, and just enjoy the night and watch the kids get candy.
So I'll be putting your address in the show notes so you can have.
Come on down.
That's
I'll be autographing merchandise. Come on down. It'll be great.
That's great.
What are you going to do?
I think it's pretty, my kids are grown, Alex. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. So I think it's going to be pretty low key. We always honor my father. I think we talked last time. His birthday was Halloween.
Yes.
He did not want a birthday cake on his birthday. He actually liked pumpkin pie. So Kelly always makes me from scratch a pumpkin pie as a way to kind of honor my dad's memory. But, I just love watching the kids come to the door, man. It just makes me happy. So much fun.
And you got Kelly is such a great, wonderful person. She
really is.
You did really well, my friend.
I don't know how, but I did.
Well, that's how I feel about mine. And but I think Kelly's great. Well, enjoy that pumpkin pie. And man, your dad. I never ceases to amaze me the wonderful stories you have about your dad. What a great guy.
Yeah. Heck of a musician. Okay. So on that note, thank you so much for listening again. In the show notes, we didn't get any emails. I'm putting it down there again. Somebody email us. Tell us something fun. We will be back on November 15th. Have a great, happy, safe Halloween. Be one of those people that eats 37 Milky Ways and regrets it the next day. I don't care. Have a good time. But we will be back on November 15th. Alex, of course, gave me the hint. I'm apparently making a Kenny Powers themed drink. I'll have to think about how to do that. But until next time, be safe, people. We'll talk to you real soon.
See ya.
Are high-interest credit cards or personal loans weighing you down? Unlock gives homeowners a smarter option. With a home equity agreement, you can tap into your home's equity for cash today. There are no monthly payments. Here's how it works. Unlock provides funds upfront and in exchange shares in a portion of your home's future value. That means you keep control with the flexibility to use your equity your way. Pay off bills, invest in home improvements, or set aside savings for peace of mind. For thousands of homeowners, Unlock has been the key to moving forward without the pressure of another payment. Put your equity to work for you. Visit unlock.com to learn more about a home equity agreement. That's unlock.com to learn more.
Terms and conditions apply. Not all homeowners will qualify. Not available in all states. Actor Portrayal. Home equity agreements are offered by Unlock Home Equity Solutions, Inc. In certain states, NMLS number 2657081. Visit www.consumeraccess.org for more info.